Yo, what is good everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul and today we've got a very special pair of sneakers to discuss, to review, to talk into detail about. As you guys know, time and time again, I am a frequenter of all things fear of God, and that is the topic of discussion today. These are the Fear of God Athletics trainer. Naturally, as we've done time and time again in videos past, we're gonna delve into each and every detail that makes this sneaker so good, because about a week ago, I did my first video, initial impressions on the shoe, kind of assuming what it would be like, but we have the sneaker in hand now, and actually, it's quite a bit different than I had initially anticipated. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, that's what you're gonna have to find out in my dedicated review here today. But just before we jump into it, I did want to let you know that my watch company, Aura Watch, has now officially launched our unisex line. For the first time, we are now releasing faces that are 36 millimeters in a variety of colors. So whether if you're looking for a watch face that's a little bit more inconspicuous, or if you're looking for the perfect Valentine's gift for your significant other, look no further than our brand new line. These 36 millimeters are limited, but you can rest assured you're gonna get all the quality, all the value you guys have known and loved from Aura so far. But now with all of that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the Fear of God Athletics trainer. Beginning with the unboxing, we have a box that looks rather similar to that of the Fear of God Athletics Model 2, arriving in a tan box endowed with the Fear of God Athletics logo. Once inside the box, we are greeted with some tissue paper and one more additional layer of tissue paper encasing the sneakers. And now when you get the sneakers in hand, you begin to realize you don't just have another pair of Nike or Adidas sneakers, rather you have a sneaker that was so beautifully and thoughtfully crafted with every minute and minuscule detail taken into account. But first things first, let's go ahead and talk about the overall silhouette of the sneaker, and then we'll get into the details. What we have here is a very sleek and streamlined silhouette of a sneaker that does share the shapes and proportions that we saw on the Athletics Model 1 and 2, but the Athletics trainer in particular does set itself apart in that it is not a basketball sneaker by any stretch. Now, similar to the former sneakers, these do feature an inner bootie that do enshroud your foot once inside the shoe. But one thing that I really appreciate for this sneaker is that there is additional layers of padding which add to overall stability of the shoe. And one might think that is a basketball attribute. I would beg to differ, because I do find that it does add an unnecessary amount of bulkiness that you just wouldn't want in a basketball shoe. So as it pertains to use case or utilization rather, this shoe is definitely a walking around kind of chilling out kind of sneaker. Now, as it relates to sizing, I would suggest going true to size. These fit just the same as the Athletics Model 1 and 2, as the toe box is kind of narrow. For your medium wide footers out there, I would go a half size up. For me personally, I do range anywhere from a size 8.5 to a 9. These are a size 9, and I do find that they fit perfectly. But back into the intricate details that make this sneaker so good. Beginning with the upper, you have an incredibly hairy and soft suede that does make up the heel or rear section of the upper. The lateral and medial portions of the sneaker meet at a middle section where the Achilles is, and is joined together by an elasticized canvas, allowing for the sneaker to be much easier to be taken off and put on. Now, moving through the sneaker, we do have rope laces that do come with an additional lace lock for a little bit of extra security, but in my opinion is more so for aesthetic. And covering the laces is this really cool strap made of canvas, and does feature a nice level of elasticity as well. Again, I don't really think this serves a purpose as it relates to lockdown or anything, more so just for aesthetic, serving as somewhat of a nod to that of the Yeezy Boost 750. A little detail that I really appreciate is the top grain leather that they used for underneath the strap. This could have easily been something they kind of cheaped out on as it relates to the quality. They didn't have to use leather, let alone really fine grain leather, but they did, and they came correct with it. This top grain leather, it looks really nice, feels extremely soft to the touch. And this right here kind of serves as like a microcosm of why we love Fear of God. It's all about the tiny little details. I feel like Jerry has a very special gift of adding in there those like hidden gems, things that a real Fear of God enthusiast would appreciate. And while having it be covered by the strap is an understated touch, it is a detail that somebody like myself very much so appreciates. Now, moving through to the toe box, that top grain leather meets with a less hairy but equally as nice quality suede material. This is also a section of the shoe that really impresses me due to the toe deco design stitch pattern, because again, the quality of the suede could have easily been enough for me to be, okay, this is a finalized shoe, but the added design stitching, like the deco design stitching here on the toe box, is a really nice detail. And actually a detail that we have seen time and time again, seen on the Fear of God Raid as well as on the Fear of God mainline skate mid. A lot of people out there say that Jerry Lorenzo bites from Kanye, but I reiterate yet again, time and time again, these design details may not have originated from Kanye, and we have to remember that Kanye himself reached out to Jerry and it was not the other way around. And so while we did see some of the details that comprise this shoe first on some of the Yeezy stuff, that is not to say that Jerry did not have a hand on those things, as Jerry's design language has more or less stayed pretty consistent. I know this is like my third time mentioning this on the channel, but I see time and time again a lot of people commenting these really negative things about Jerry. And while I do believe there are some criticisms that could be had towards him, saying that he knocks off Yeezy, I don't believe is justified whatsoever. But anyways, moving on to the midsole and the outsole, we have here a bone colored translucent outsole that encases light strike technology. What that essentially means is the shoe is going to be very nice as it relates to bounce, energy return. It's going to feel very soft and cushiony and can serve as an awesome sneaker to go ahead and wear all day. Now the outsole does feature a radial traction pattern very similar to what we saw on the Model 2. Little side note, by the way, I do have a 2-month update video on these sneakers on the way. I hooped in these and I do get into detail about performance on this outsole. But flipping the sneaker around onto the heel portion, you do have this rubberized braided detailing that stretches from the bottom part of the upper down to the midsole. Yet again, another design detail that is kind of understated but really set this sneaker apart from any other sneakers that we see here on the market today. But with that to say, my overall thoughts on the sneaker is that the details that comprise this shoe are truly impressive, but at that price point of $250, I feel like that was a non-negotiable. That is a very high ticket sneaker that you're asking. But in light of the fact that Jordan 4s do retail now for like what, $215, and you consider all of the materials and technology for that matter that encompass this shoe, I do think that that $250 price point is somewhat justified. Now I'm not trying to make this a total glaze session around this sneaker, because the truth is I'm not even fully convinced that I personally actually like the sneaker. Now I meant everything I said. The shoe is comprised of fantastic quality materials and the craftsmanship is definitely there. But as it relates to just general usability, as it relates to the spectrum to which these could be styled with different outfits, that actually remains to be seen and is a topic that I personally am not so sure of. Truth is, I've had the Model 1 now for over a year, and I've only elected to wear these sneakers, at least on my own volition, probably less than 10 times. But for this sneaker, it is a trainer. It's much less based on it being mainly used for athletics, and overall the aesthetic kind of does remind me of like say a Visvim. So there is definitely potential, but we can only really rectify how often you can wear this shoe, or at least I could wear this shoe when I actually drop my outfit styling video. But if I were to guess right now, the outfit range for this shoe would probably be pretty dense, and that's strictly a guess. As of this moment, would I personally recommend you go out and buy these for $250? I would say if you like them, if this is your aesthetic, I'd say go for it. But I do believe for most people, you'd probably be better off looking elsewhere for a sneaker that you get more utility out of, a shoe that you can wear more regularly for that $250 price. But that's gonna do it for today's video, my first overall review on the Fear of God Athletics trainer. You guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this sneaker. I would say out of the 3 thus far, I think I like the look of the trainer most. Anyways, that's gonna do it from me. Please be sure to go ahead and like today's video and subscribe to my channel with notifications on so you don't miss out on future vids. I am gonna go ahead and do a styling video, kind of a segment where I kind of show these shoes with different styles of outfits. You don't wanna miss it. I do it all the time, or at least I used to, and by popular request, I'm gonna bring it back to the channel. Which is what we do here at Locust&WildHoney. We give the people what they want. And as always, I'd like to thank you so much for the continued support, whether it be through supporting my products or whether it's here watching the videos here on the channel. Thank you. thank you very much. I'll catch you again in the next upload. Peace and be blessed.